Hey folks, Dave Spalding here, and I just wanted to share with you some hot tips that I believe will really help you with some allergies if you have them or you have a loved one or someone going through that. About 30 years ago, me and my family was really struggling with allergies. In fact, it almost completely incapacitated us, and so it was really a good thing to be able to get a handle on. I remember back then we were really looking for something. It seemed like everything we tried, we just could not get over those allergies, and they were so miserable. I remember I was out there on a swather all day. It was an open cockpit swather cutting hay, and basically I sat out there on a seat, and those alfalfa seeds and everything and flakes and everything had come up in my face, and so I devised all kinds of crazy contraptions to try to be comfortable out there. And I remember I had a respirator and I had goggles and I had a hood over my head. No matter what I tried, it seemed like within about 20 minutes my eyes would swell up, they'd be almost closed, and I'd get all plugged up and I couldn't hardly breathe, and really miserable. And if you have any of those symptoms and you're experiencing the same thing and have had allergies for years, I know our whole family was that, and we just couldn't really figure out a cure. And my dad actually took us into a specialist, and he spent a lot of money trying to figure out some way of controlling that. And I remember this specialist, he pricked our backs in several dozen places with all kinds of things to try to figure out what we were allergic to. And in the end, nothing really worked very good. But along about then or shortly after, my mother's friend introduced her to some products that are made by the Sunrider Corporation. And those two products are Conco, C-O-N-C-O, and Prime Again. And we found out if we took those products maybe 6 to 8 weeks before the allergy season hit, that we didn't have any problems with allergies. It was just amazing. We were like, we can't believe that we're not having problems with allergies, because we had it for years and years. So anyway, I want to tell you a little bit about those products, but just to back up a little bit, what we found out is that this company, Sunrider, what they did is they got research. The Chinese has actually got the longest research, the longest human case studies in history. For 5,000 years, believe it or not, 5,000 years of research on the human body, that they took the time to categorize and catalog different herbs, and they tested them on humans, and they seen their cause and effect on humans for all those years. And the Chinese back then, what they did is they actually hired a doctor as part of they just hired a family doctor, and basically they paid him so much a month or so on and so forth just to keep their family healthy. And if their doctor didn't keep them healthy, then they fired that doctor. And so basically back then what they did is their whole focus was on prevention and the philosophy of regeneration, prevention of these different diseases and things. And they only had a few things, and they only mentioned a few things in here on cures, and almost out of something like several thousand entries, almost all of them had to do with prevention. And so really important that they kept people healthy. In fact, the emperor's doctor, they say, was buried with an emperor, and so he really had an incentive to keep him healthy. And I don't think our doctors today have quite that incentive to keep us healthy, but it's just kind of interesting to see what their philosophy was back then. But anyway, these formulas that have been cataloged and categorized for many years and passed down generation to generation, they actually have been used, the formulas that Dr. Chen and Sunrider has have been used for depending on the herb, for 300 to 1,400 years. And so that alone, the fact that people have been using these herbs for that long in itself just tells you how effective that they are. And so anyway, in Chinese medicine, they basically try to feed 5 systems of your body. And the 5 systems are the respiratory system, the digestive system, the circulation system, the endocrine system, and the immune system. And we found out back then that Sunrider had a product to feed each one of these systems. And again, the 2 systems that you're trying to feed here with the Conco and the Quinery is the respiratory system with the Conco, and it'll feed your respiratory and lymphatic system and give your body the tools it needs to repair itself and to strengthen itself. And so some signs of imbalance with that system are things like frequent chest colds, flu, asthma, bronchitis, congestion, recurrent cough, headaches, and migraines. The Prime Again is designed to feed the endocrine system, and that includes your nerves, your glandular and reproductive systems, and your signs of imbalance there are nervous weakness, emotional instability, inability to handle stress, menstrual and premenstrual discomfort, weak sexual response, and a tendency toward allergic reactions, which is what we have with allergies. You also could have hypertension, muscle weakness, and just a general lack of drive. So anyway, those two products work really well for that. They've also, like I say, they've got a product out now called Quinery, and it'll actually feed all 5 of those systems with just one product. And I would highly recommend the Quinery. A lot of people have really, really good results with just the Quinery. And you may be able to beat those allergies with just the Quinery plus feed 3 other systems of your body. But if you really, really want to make sure that you're taking care of those systems that cause the allergies, definitely get the Prime Again and the Conco. And you can click on the banners where it says click here to buy products, and it'll give you instructions on how to get set up and buy those 2 products. Again, that's Prime Again and Conco. And just in closing, I can't promise you that you're going to have really good results with this. I'm not trying to prescribe anything. Read the disclaimers below. But I can promise you one thing. I've recommended these products to a lot of my friends. They've had really, really good results. I can promise you that I have really good results when I use these products. And I can promise you that my family has really good results. And I'm pretty confident that you'll have good results too. So I recommend jumping on there and trying those 2 products out. And appreciate you taking the time, and look forward to seeing you next time.